You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, King Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Main Event After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Main Event After Show.
Welcome, everybody. Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another WWE Main Event After Show for you. Welcome, everybody. My name is Christian Rosenberg. Some people call me professional wrestling's voice of choice. And I'm here as your host for this evening, but of course I am not alone. I only got one person with me this week, though. My man, Mr. Rome Moore, hanging out. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, man. Sometimes when you got me, one is all you need. I hope, I miss.
Yeah, Corey's under the weather this week, so
yeah,
she's taking the day off. She'll be back next week. Don't worry. But Rome and I are going to hold it down. And you see, he's got his Millennium Pro Wrestling World Heavyweight title with him because he likes to brag a little bit that he successfully defended it this past weekend.
Another successful title defense, man.
I mean,
another.
You got your heavyweight title. Corey's got her prediction title. I just got a bad sunburn right now.
Yeah, man. You gotta get a belt, man. You gotta get a belt. You can't go to the country and western store and get a big belt buckle. You gotta get a belt.
All right. Well, I'm working on that. Maybe Money in the Bank I can take it from Corey.
You may be You may be able to. We'll see.
That's a couple weeks away. But meanwhile, we got a really probably the most star-studded main event that we have had since we've been doing this show.
Sometime, yeah.
You know, lots of main eventers appearing on, no pun intended, main event this week. And, you know, it starts off with the music that you just heard. Y2J, Chris Jericho, former 6-time world champion, former 9-time Intercontinental Champion. In the house, kicking things off for main event for the week of June 26th, hailing from South Kakalaki. You know, down home of the Gamecocks is where they're at this week for main event.
Got a lot of memories about that place.
Yeah, well, you being from around that area.
Yeah, I've been to South Carolina a few times, or as they would say, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
And you know, and they start hyping up this match by talking about how Chris Jericho at Money in the Bank is going to take on the monster Ryback.
Yes.
The two men who at Payback a few weeks ago were the two losers in the main event. Now they seem to be clashing with each other, and we're going to see how that match unfolds in the weeks to come. But Jericho's opponent this week on main event is arguably the most underrated guy, which you can make that argument for a few guys, but this is one of them that you could really make that argument for.
Yes, you can.
In Cody Rhodes. And this week, on commentary, we only have Miz and Josh Matthews. There's no Ricardo.
Yeah,
there's no other random superstar.
Nobody that Miz wrestled last week or anything like that.
Because the man of Miz wrestled like last week is in the ring.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Having a great match, actually.
Yeah, these guys had an excellent match. I mean, for the first several minutes, it was pretty back and forth. I mean, Jericho, for the most part, with the upper hand. But then the real key point in this match happened where Cody Rhodes, while the referee was pushing Jericho away from the turnbuckle, Cody poked Jericho in the eye.
Poked him hard in the eye.
And, normally in the WWE PG standards, an eye poke is actually, a thumb to the eye is actually a DQ. So he got it away from the referee.
The ref didn't see it.
Ref did not see it.
There you go.
But you never would do a thumb to the eye, would you?
I've never.
Because you're wholesome. You're an innocent.
I am family friendly, wholesome, and I'm appalled that you would ever accuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry.
Eye gouging anyone ever.
Well, the really interesting thing in this match was, so after the thumb to the eye, we're thinking, oh, that's just gonna be his way of gaining control. Because a lot of times, if a heel works in a match, as obviously you know this better than I do, they're working the arm, they're working the leg, they're working the ankle, they're working a certain body part throughout the entire match. Cody, throughout this match, worked on the eye and the face.
Yes.
Which is not something you see every day.
I'm pretty sure Arn Anderson was in the back and there was a tear.
Tear of joy.
A tear of joy, because he would work a wrist or a finger, or like Arn Anderson will work a toe. Like you can't like, I'm gonna work your toe tonight, kid.
And you know, in a situation like this where you have two guys, both with excellent ring psychology, but a guy who's like dastardly like Cody Rhodes, and then a guy who can sell anything like $1 million, and like Jericho.
Yeah,
they were able to work this story in the match incredibly well.
Yes. And I think Jericho's still holding the eye, actually. I think he's still
when he was celebrating at the end, when we get to the end of the match, he was celebrating like holding his eye, keeping it shut. Because holding the eye, you know, prevents it from falling out or whatever.
Go back to holding it in. Make sure you don't lose your cornea.
And, you know, this match, there's a point early on also where Cody hits a gorgeous moonsault on Jericho. And you think a lot of times when he goes for that move, he misses. Maybe because Jericho couldn't see him.
He couldn't see him. He was
see
blind.
him. So then Cody was able to get it.
Yeah. Came straight down on top of him.
He did, but only got the 2 count. And then, as the match progresses, then we really get, you know, to the fun part of the match where two guys that you just really enjoy watching just pretty much take turns hitting their signature moves on each other.
Yeah.
Because, you know, then you had the disaster kick by Cody, but then Jericho got out of it and then ran up to the top for his double axe handle. And then Cody even hits, you know, his Alabama Slam.
Yeah.
Which there's no way you're. Why don't you use the Alabama? Do you use the Alabama Slam at all?
No,
you're from Alabama?
I haven't. My spine buster has remnants of the Alabama Slam in it.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't done it. I took that move entirely too many times. I don't want to. Move hurts, ladies and gentlemen. It hurts. Yeah, really.
It looks painful. Yeah. Anytime I've seen anyone take it. Especially when Hardcore Holly delivered it.
Oh, yeah. Just move on.
You just want to go back on. Yeah. And now a huge issue in the match, though. Cody Rhodes hits his finisher.
Yeah.
And he nails it right in the middle of the ring.
Crossroads.
He hits the crossroads. You and I jumped out of our seats. We're like, they're going to give Cody an upset win on Main Event.
Yep.
But Jericho kicks out at 2.
Yes, he did.
Why do you kick out of the finisher? On free TV, in a match that wasn't built up.
I've given up on trying to figure that out. It happens. I accept it now. I guess it's a new part of the industry.
Yeah.
That used to be, you know, WrestleMania, what was it, 14, 15, with The Rock and Stone Cold the
15.
First time.
I think it was 15.
Yeah, that was like the first, oh my God, he kicked out of the finisher moment that messed everybody up.
Right.
Now it's commonplace. Now,
I know. Even just on TV. Now, it's one thing if like built up to a pay-per-view match and someone kicked out of it in the main event. That's one thing.
Yeah.
But just a random TV match where the guy hits his finishing move and you kick out of it.
And
clean.
He's out. Now it doesn't mean less now?
Unless Cody's getting ready to debut a new finisher soon.
And he has the talent to do that, but I doubt it. I guess it's the caliber. Now the finisher has to match the caliber of the wrestler that's taking it. Right. I think that's where we are now.
Sure. And then also, though, one thing that I do want to point out in the commentary, where overall for the night, the commentary was good.
Yeah.
But Miz mentioned, he's like, I don't think I've seen anyone ever kick out of the Crossroads.
Yeah.
And about a month ago on Raw, we saw Randy Orton kick out of the Crossroads.
Like I said, it's the level of the wrestler that you're working with. You know, Cody Rhodes can't get Jericho with the Crossroads. Now, if he was wrestling, I don't know, John Cena, he'd have to drive a Panzer tank in there in order to get the 1, 2, 3.
But if he's wrestling Yoshitatsu,
then he could just chop him. Just a chop.
Well, now to be fair, while this, after the Crossroads, Jericho fights out and hits his code breaker, hits his finisher. But Jericho is still selling the effects of the Crossroads and takes a long time to make the cover. So Cody is able to get his foot on the rope.
Yeah.
So to be fair, they both technically kicked out of their finishers.
They did. But
it also kind of added more excitement to the match when it's all said and done.
It's only fair game.
It is only fair game. And then Cody regains control, and while Jericho's down, he starts just like literally kicking him in the head and the face. Again, continuing to work in the face and the eye area, which is just hilarious to think.
Face work.
Literally face work.
Yeah.
Until eventually Jericho catches one of Cody's feet and then pulls him down, locks him in the walls of Jericho. Cody's got nowhere to go, and Cody taps out, and Chris Jericho victorious.
Yes.
On this week's main event.
He needed that. He needed that.
You think Jericho needed that more than Cody?
I think Jericho needed. No, I'm just. Playing.
I hope you're kidding. I hope you're
I'm
kidding.
just playing. Nah, I mean, I would love to see Cody get a quality signature win at some point in the next 6-7 months. But right now,
6-7 months.
I got to give him a long window, man. This is WWE we talking about. But I mean, I know Jericho's got his program. He's doing what he does. He's being Jericho. He's one of the best. So, you let him do his thing. As far as Cody goes, they got to get a signature win on him at some point.
They got to do something
because now it's getting to that point that we're starting to clamor for it. Fans want to see him have
even the fans, like, he's coming out for a big match. Was Jericho against Orton, against Sheamus, against whoever, and they're like, this is going to be a good match. Yeah. But we already know Cody's going to lose.
He's going to lose. He's going to lose. And I just want to see him I want him to see him shock us one day.
And you brought up a great point when we were watching this. That's the same way people acted about a year or so ago with Ziggler.
Yes, they did. And this entire time, I've always looked at Ziggler and Rhodes they're completely different characters, but they're on the same career path. They're on the same ladder. They could both reach
They're both the
apex.
workhorses.
Yeah, they're super workhorses, phenomenal work rate. They're great in the ring. And Ziggler just has something. He has that thing you can't touch that just makes you like that guy, makes you want to see that guy work. And I mean, he was looking that good. Ziggler was doing this while getting his butt kicked.
Yeah.
So for him to have that, and it's because they're different styles of wrestlers. I mean, obviously, like you alluded to earlier, Cody's more sadistic. He's got a more sadistic delivery to everything he does. Ziggler, he says it on the shirt, he's a showman.
Yep.
And you know it. When he walks in the room, he's a showman. And no disrespect to Curtis Axel, but he always reminded me of Mr. Perfect when I saw Ziggler.
Yeah.
Every single time. Like I said, no disrespect to Curtis, but now that Curtis is there, we'll see what he can do. But watching Ziggler, I think that was part of the thing that he had. We were so interested in that, and now Cody's got to find it, man. Cody's got to. He's doing everything he can do,
and he's doing everything right.
Yeah, he's not missing anything. He's doing everything he can do within his power. It's just they're gonna have to give him an opportunity. And, I mean, he's even the better talker. You got to give him, even when they give him the mic, he's still money.
And they don't give it to him enough.
They don't.
All right. What would your star rating be for this match with Cody and Jericho?
Jericho's any dude. 3.5 stars.
3.5?
3.5.
You know what? I think I'm giving this one 4 stars. 4? I thought this was excellent. I thought this was fantastic. The story working the eye, which is unique and done to near perfection.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, and again, I'm not a huge fan of them kicking out of the finishers, but the fact that they both kicked out of each other's, that added intrigue to, like, how is this match going to end?
Yeah, true.
So, I kind of expected all of a sudden all it to end up being just a roll-up.
Do you think it's weaker to kick out of a finisher or weaker to get your foot on the rope, as we saw?
Weaker as far as the guy who hits the move or the guy taking the move?
Rhodes took the code breaker, foot on the rope. Jericho took Crossroads, kicks out.
I think that makes the Crossroads look weaker because you have to exert that force to move your whole upper body to kick out.
Yeah, the kick out it's poetic. It's a work of art to the right moment to kick out and the power that you use for a kick out. Nothing is better than watching your favorite face character getting beat up. Sympathy is building, and finally he takes this huge, devastating move. And if he kicks out with "I'm still here," that power of "you can't put me down," that means something. Right. So
the foot on the rope is kind of just like, I'm near beat up, but I know my ring awareness, so I know I still have a shot.
Which is why you always see the heels.
The heels are usually the ones who get the feet on the rope.
That's why.
Yeah. So let me quick before we continue on with main event, let me remind people, if they're tuning into this live at the moment, that means they're on AfterBuzzTV.com. So they are seeing the brand new revamped style of AfterBuzz TV. And those of you that might be, listening in later on during the week, we encourage you to please check out AfterBuzzTV.com because it's got a whole new design to it. So much easier to surf around, find your favorite shows, look at what what your favorite hosts are doing, all that fun stuff, and you're able to leave comments and everything on AfterBuzzTV.com. And also on the site, there's a little link at the top where you can go and purchase that awesome movie known as The Adventures of Serial Buddies, starring our own Maria Menounos, executive produced by her and Kevin Undergaro, the guys who run AfterBuzz. Hilarious movie with Artie Lang, Christopher Lloyd, Beth Beers, Kathy Lee Gifford, Hal Rudnick, Gianmalina. If you guys are fans of Funny or Die, then you've seen Hal Rudnick and Gianmalina because they're in a bunch of stuff on that. So it's a hilarious movie. Please make sure you take the time to click on that link and download it, for digital download off of iTunes. And you're going to enjoy the fact that you did, because it's a freaking hilarious movie. And then while you're also on iTunes, I'm just plugging everything into one advertisement because I'm awesome like that.
You can do it.
And while you're on iTunes downloading that, you can also subscribe to our page on there. And, you can subscribe to us. You can subscribe to Raw. You can subscribe to AfterBuzz SmackDown. And like I usually say, if there's a show that you enjoy watching, most likely AfterBuzz does a podcast on it.
Yes.
So make sure you subscribe. You tell a friend, because that's how we are known, through word of mouth from people talking about the wonderful thing that is AfterBuzz.
Yes.
5-star rating, comments, all that fun stuff.
Tell your friends.
Yes. All right. So then we come back to Main Event and we get a nice little video package of, once again, the return of Rob Van Dam coming back. And we find out on Raw officially in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And they're calling it the Money in the Bank All-Star match. So we know one of the 2 Money in the Bank matches. So this one, to get a shot for the WWE title, got RVD,
yes,
CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Kane, Sheamus. I'm going to forget somebody. I know it. Randy Orton.
Yeah, Orton's in there.
And there was a 7th, and it's slipping my mind, and I feel terrible about
and
it.
You got to run through them again for me to realize
CM
which
Punk,
one it is.
Sheamus, Daniel Bryan, Kane, Randy Orton. Maybe I didn't say Kane. CM Punk, Sheamus, Daniel Bryan, Kane, Randy Orton, RVD, and then I just screwed it up again.
Did it again. It's twice.
Well, you know what? On the TV monitor while it's playing in the back, they show it. So I'm going to correct myself when it's on there, because Corey's not here, not following the chat this week, because someone in the chat is probably
screaming it.
Someone is yelling at me right now, and I can't see it.
All caps. How could they forget this guy?
I know, and I feel bad, whoever I'm forgetting, but we'll see it momentarily, and then we'll go back and be like, I told you.
Yeah. I got an excuse. I took too many hits to the head over the years.
Yeah, I'm just forgetful. That's all.
That's cool.
Yeah. You take hits to the head, and I just forget.
I take chair shots. You just wake up.
I sit in chairs.
Yeah, see.
I sit in them. You get hit by them.
Yeah.
At this point now, we're welcomed by Zeb Colter and Antonio Cesaro, and they just cut an outstanding promo.
Yes, they did.
Now, why this promo was on Main Event and not Raw, I have no idea.
I think that was a waste.
But I love it, because then we get to talk about it.
We get to talk about it. Take that, Clum.
Yeah. Yeah, Marissa, our producer in the back, is laughing about it, because Marissa, you don't know, Ryan Clum, or AKA Ryan J. Morals, will love a shot at this title.
I know.
But I don't know if Rome's gonna let him have that anytime soon. I don't know if it's in
the cards, man. I don't know. I don't know if JJ Steele can put it on the line.
Hold on to the belt.
Huh?
I say hold on to the belt.
I like it. I like the belt. Yeah. So JJ Steele likes his belt. Yeah.
The alter ego of Romo, JJ Steele.
JJ Steele.
So Zeb gets on the microphone and he calls Cesaro the newest real American.
Yes.
Now maybe kind of how we were talking about last week, if they actually start a stable with Zeb, maybe they're just going to name it like the Real Americans.
Yeah.
Because if he's calling
I still like your name. I still like your name.
They're like the United Nations.
I like the United Nations. Now, granted, someone that looks like Zeb Colter could never go into the United Nations, could never even enter the building. But you know,
they're not about to do that anytime soon.
Yeah, I love that name.
They can make that set in the back. They can make a set in the back of them walking in the United Nations.
Have it, but it'll be the Real Americans. And the thing I like the most about this is that it's getting funnier every week. The promo work is phenomenal, but looking at what Cesaro is wearing every single week, it's getting more and more European.
It's getting more and more European, and he's saying that he's American.
And he's more American every week. He's more American, but his clothes are very French.
Yeah.
I love that. The beret, oh, perfect.
Yeah. So Now it says Zeb on the microphone is talking about like, you know, this arena is saying like the home of the Gamecocks.
Yeah.
Now what exactly, you know, is a Gamecock? It's a rooster. What does a rooster do? It wakes up America in the morning. Well, he's like, well, I'm going to wake up America. So Zeb is playing the role of a Gamecock.
Yeah, he is a Gamecock.
He's like, this Friday on SmackDown, and this was a great way also of plugging SmackDown.
Yeah.
You have a Dublin Street Fight and a Fiesta del Rio.
And he brought that up. I don't know why I thought he would miss that.
He's like, I don't understand what country we're in anymore. He's like, nowadays I can't walk down the street and hear a good morning, sir. How are you? Now all I hear is hola, ciao, and shalom.
Shalom. That was the kicker. I did not think we would get a shalom today.
I mean, I personally, and you know, I'm Jewish.
Yes.
I don't generally hear a lot of people along the streets of America saying shalom.
Maybe some parts of La Brea. I'm
maybe in La Brea.
Yeah, maybe La Brea, but generally not so much.
And he's like, and even when I try to call someone for customer service, I'm listening to people who sound like the great Khali.
Yeah, I mean,
that's kind of
true. I hate to say it.
And then he's like, bottom line, if you don't read, write, or understand English, then adios, amigo.
Actually, it wasn't adios.
Oh,
it was
adios.
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 Yeah, is what he said.
And now, eventually, though, I'm thinking this is just going to be a typical Zeb promo where he talks, and then at the end, Cesaro will just get on the mic and say, we the people.
Yeah.
But then Cesaro gets on the mic and talks, too. He's talking about like that he is everything that all these Americans want to be.
Yes.
You know, he's like, I don't have a sense of entitlement. I have a sense of pride. I know what it's like to start from the bottom, work hard and stop at nothing no matter who or what stands in my way. And that is the American way. So far what he's saying is true.
I'm a fan.
It's
true.
And he continues saying, you know, like all the freedom that you take for granted, I embrace. And it makes me the personification of the American dream.
Yeah, that is what he said. I was waiting. I don't know how if people know, but geographically, South Carolina usually is a red state. It's full of a lot of Republicans, and he made a lot of Republican talking points today. And
because
a lot of them were true.
And there are certain areas. I mean, Zeb Colter, you know, he goes for like that political gimmick.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that he says, a lot of Americans side with.
Yeah.
Especially if you happen to be cutting those promos in one of the red states. In this case, South Carolina.
One of the reddest of the red states.
So I think this was one of the times where the WWE, being that this was filmed on Tuesday, kind of toned down the audience a little bit.
Yeah, I was listening for cheers. I thought I would catch a few, but obviously,
you cut that promo in California, you cut it in New York.
Yeah,
you cut it probably in like most places in New England.
Oh yeah, anything in New England,
they're gonna boo the crap out of you.
They're booing you all day.
You do it in South Carolina, Georgia, Texas, they're gonna appreciate
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I find it really
Alabama.
interesting that they chose to do it on Main Event.
Yeah.
And maybe because they were able to dub out the cheers.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't do that on Raw, being live.
No, they wouldn't be able to.
But an outstanding promo, really getting Antonio Cesaro over, and hopefully this means they're actually going to do something with him. Like we're owning where Cody, Cesaro's in that same boat.
He is. And
can you imagine Corey's not here this week and Cesaro was on stage in a suit talking?
Talking the entire time, and she didn't see it.
And she can't sit here and drool over him.
Yeah, she can't.
That poor girl.
But I don't think she'd be any good to the segment right now. She'd still be drooling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, back to in-ring competition.
Yes.
As we get the United States champion, 1/3 of the Shield, Dean Ambrose, taking on a man who just recently returned about a week ago, Christian. Mm-hmm. I am in no relation to him, as some people have asked me. Just because we have the same first name doesn't mean that we're related. But
my brother,
What were you just about to give a bad joke?
Yeah, I was, but I decided not to.
All right,
hit the denial.
Hit the denial button. So this match is taking place because last week on SmackDown, Christian is cutting a promo, kind of like talking about how he's happy to return. but he's interrupted by the Shield,
Yes.
who triple team and just beat him down. And we were talking about this a little bit. I think we're sick of the triple powerbomb.
Yeah.
Only because it's fine if they lift up whoever it is to take it, but then Roman Reigns should just drop him.
Yeah.
With the other two holding him up, it's as I hit my hand and break the glass or whatever.
That's how angry you are.
I'm so angry about it.
Yes.
It's like the weakest move that the Shield does.
Yeah. I mean, when you got a guy like the Big Show, or you got a guy like Ryback, or even Cena.
Yeah.
But then, it takes 3 of them to lift, powerbomb, cool, whatever. Do your thing. Khali, even, because obviously
because he's like 7'11".
Yeah, he's 8'12".
Yeah. 8'12".
But that makes sense. But we're talking about Christian. It shouldn't take 3 people to. Reigns could get Christian up with one arm.
Right.
It should not take 3 people to get Christian up for a triple powerbomb. Like, we get it, we understand, but still, come on, guys, just muscle him up there, just do it.
And the start of this match, I found hilarious because we see the oldest trick in the heel handbook, where Dean Ambrose starts running around the ring.
Runs the circle.
Christian starts chasing him. Ambrose gets in the ring before Christian, and as Christian rolls
Turns
in,
around.
stomps, punches, and takes control right at the beginning.
Dumb good, guys.
Why is never in like the history of wrestling has a babyface learned from that move?
Did Wile E. Coyote ever figure it out?
He's a cartoon. Are you saying wrestling's like a cartoon? from a guy holding a title.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm a superhero. You didn't know?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest with us.
I'm actually in full animation right now. But yeah, I mean, it's just, eventually somebody's gonna figure it out.
One day,
somebody's gonna get it.
Hogan never figured it out. Cena's never figured it out. One day, someone.
Generations and generations, and one day, one man will come and figure that out.
And then the world of wrestling will just combust.
Yeah, it'll be over. I'll be out of a job. I have to give the belt back, and it'll go bad.
So, Ambrose, for the most part, in control of this match, including hitting like a really nice delayed dropkick. He tied Christian's arms up in the ropes and then ran off and hit like a delay style dropkick, which we've seen him use when all 3 members of the Shield team up, because like a quick tag segment between him and Seth Rollins, but now trying to just make it in his own singles arsenal.
You gotta find a way to fit that in.
Right. Add a couple signature moves to your arsenal. And I liked it.
Yeah.
And it looked good. Christian eventually, though, does start fighting back, hitting a few of his moves, including that nice little like sunset flip that he does off the second rope.
Off the second. Yeah.
I always enjoyed that move of his.
Yeah, especially for a guy his height.
Christian works the second rope, I think, better than anyone else.
Better than Brett?
Well, better than anyone right now.
Okay, cool.
Right now. I should have been specific. Better than anyone out there today. Christian works the second rope better. And there's a point where Christian eventually climbs to the top rope, but at that point, then Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins come out, push him off. Ref rings the bell. It's a DQ. The Shield continuing to beat down on Christian. I think we're going to see the same thing that we saw on SmackDown. But who comes to save Christian? The team that is now, as of this past Monday's Raw, the #1 contender for the tag team titles. The guys who we have dubbed, or at least I have dubbed, the lowest men on the card with Pyro, now #1 contenders, the Usos, run out and make the save and help Christian chase off the Shield.
They ran him off. They didn't have time to do the dance, but they
no
did
dance,
run him. No war dance, but they did run him off.
They did run
off the Shield.
And then we find out later on in the night that because of this, we are now going to have a 6-man tag match on SmackDown with Christian and the Usos versus the Shield.
Yes.
So this match obviously was much shorter than we thought it was going to be because of the DQ finish.
Yeah.
But I thought it was entertaining and it built up what they wanted to do. With the main thing for this is to build up. Christian is the guy we forgot in Money in the Bank.
There it is.
There it is right there.
You know what's so messed up about that?
There it is.
Somewhere Vince is going, I told you, nobody
will remember that Christian in the Money in the Bank match.
Christian.
Christian was the guy we forgot.
I feel so bad right now.
But because this was meant, since he's in the Money in the Bank match, this whole match was designed to help build the Usos and Rollins and Reigns. and now we're gonna have the match on SmackDown for it too.
Yeah.
So because of the build-up for it, it was a short match, DQ. I mean, but for what it was worth, I'm still gonna give it 2.5 stars.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I thought it did its purpose.
Yes.
And maybe eventually down the road we'll have a longer match with Christian and Ambrose.
I'm thinking as well, 2.5 stars.
Okay.
My only concern is this, and it had nothing to do with the actual match itself. The Shield eventually one day has to start walking down the steps before their music starts playing. Because if you're coming to the ring, why wait till the music and then have to look tough and walk down the steps at the same time? Because they look like they're waiting on a kid to try to trip them up. So I just need them to come down the steps a little bit quicker or something. Because it takes a while on their intro, man. There's a lot of people at the WWE show.
Did you notice? I can't remember if it was on this past Raw or this past SmackDown. It completely threw me off because the Shield ran down the ramp.
Yeah,
they didn't come
they
through
came
the
out
ramp
of the ramp
for the first time.
The other,
Was it Raw?
I can't remember.
I can't remember if it was Raw or SmackDown, but earlier this week, and it was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Are they finally
They're
now
using
afraid
the
they're going to
ramp.
slip down the stairs? This has to stop. I love it.
Yeah, no,
It's
it's
gotta
a
stop
great
eventually.
intro. I love it. It just like Del Rio with the car. I like all of that type of stuff. It's unconventional, even though people have done it before.
Right.
But I like to mix it up. Like instead of just having, I want them to just show up out of nowhere sometimes. Just Scott Hall it. Just walk down the steps in the middle of a match. Like, I mean, granted, I know they did that to start the storyline, but keep it going sometimes.
Yeah.
Make them unpredictable. You never know where they're going to show up.
That's why one of my favorite stables, and I think arguably the most underrated stable in like the last 20 or so years, was the Flock.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Flock
they
was fun.
sat in the front row.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, one of them's wrestling.
Just stood
You don't know
up,
who's wrestling, and then
hop
they
the
just hop
rail.
up and hop over the rail, and here they are.
Time to go.
They just sat
Yeah.
there. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah. The Flock was probably
I loved the Flock.
The most original gimmicks
loved
I've
Raven's
ever
Flock.
seen. Yeah.
And so that's what I think about stables. That's my little spiel
Your
on
little
that.
stable thing.
My little stable thing.
That's cool.
So that
I
just
like it.
happened.
I like it.
All
We
right,
did.
I appreciate it.
Let's move on.
You know what else we liked?
What do we like?
We liked on Raw the promo between CM Punk and Paul Heyman, and that's what
Yes.
we're recapping right now.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We
They
liked it
pretty
a lot.
much brought every aspiring wrestler to promo school,
Yes. Yes.
as they tend to do every time they have a microphone. But just the whole buildup of Paul Heyman saying, I did not know anything about Brock Lesnar, and the fact that the entire crowd is like, BS.
Yeah,
we know
knew.
you do. Instant poll on WWE.com was like 70% or so saying,
Yes.
you knew, you're lying. But all that matters is if CM Punk thinks he's lying.
What does he think?
And Punk doesn't think he's lying to him. So Punk accepts it.
I think
So good.
it's brilliant right now. I mean, you got two of the best talkers, not just in the company, but in the history of what we do.
Right.
They are so good at just getting on the mic and getting their points across and making you feel what they're saying. And man, that was one of the best moments. Actually, for me, it's probably one of the best moments of Raw in the last. Raw's had two
the last
weeks of moments that were just on the mic.
No, even like the week before that with Big E with the double cross on Kalen, which was brilliant as well. The last several weeks, there have been promo moments.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, who is their new acting teacher in the back?
Yeah, somebody
because
is.
someone deserves a raise right now.
Yeah.
Based on the last
somebody
few
went to
weeks.
Stella Adler. Somebody went to Stella Adler because I don't know. Maybe we're all method now. I don't know.
Maybe
it's method.
Maybe.
'Cause they're definitely stepping their game up.
I don't know. If they need an improv teacher, I'm available.
There you go. You go, man.
So yeah, and then we find out that Miz announces that this Friday on SmackDown for his edition of Miz TV, he will have Paul Heyman as his guest. So
Yes.
of course, that only can mean good things with Paul Heyman again. And also, we were reminded that this Monday on Raw, based on what also happened on this past Raw, we're going to have CM Punk teaming with Curtis Axel, Paul
Yes.
Heyman's guy, against the primetime players.
Yes. Millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars. I love the primetime players so much.
I
And we
will
get
get to
them
them.
in action right now on Main
Yes.
Event. And they're taking on Tons of Funk, who are accompanied by Cameron, Naomi, and JoJo.
JoJo.
She makes her debut
Yes.
on Main Event. So we got big caliber matches. We have a diva debuting.
Yes, we did.
Jojo is
That's big for Main Event.
Jojo, the youngster. She is 19.
19 years young.
She's going to be one of the people featured on the new Total Diva show.
Divas.
And the Funkadactyls and Jojo are in the ring singing Tons of Funk's entrance. Jojo can sing.
She can't. That she
The
can't.
other two should stick to the dancing.
I don't. Okay. Let me see. How can I say this and be polite?
The same exact way I just said it?
Yeah. The Funkadactyls are over. They're divas. We love them.
We love them.
Not for singing though. Let's just let them do what they've been
They're
doing.
actually solid wrestlers too.
Yes.
They got a good personality, and of course, we, as two guys, enjoy looking at them also.
Yeah. Yeah.
And JoJo seems very nice to look at as well, and JoJo can sing.
Yes.
Now we're going to see whether or not she's going to start coming out with them on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's the next question. Because to tell you the truth, I don't even know if there was a match. I was too busy looking at them.
It was a very quick match.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you for telling me.
Yeah.
'Cause I was looking at Cameron.
I mean, my notes for this match were much shorter than the others.
Wait,
are you and I going to have to fight over Cameron?
No, I can. I mean, JoJo's a little young, so maybe I have to go Naomi.
Okay, you
Yeah.
take Naomi, I'll take Cameron.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right. Oh, actually, Corey liked Naomi, she said.
Oh, she likes Naomi?
Yeah, no, she likes Cesaro and Naomi. It's weird.
That's cool. I'll take
Oh.
AJ.
We're awful human beings. We are terrible, terrible
Yes.
human beings. And that's why we get to do the show.
Yes.
So, primetime players, they generally, for the most part, control this match. They hit one of their double team moves, which is when Titus lifts Darren up for like a front suplex.
Yeah.
What do you call that? Is it a front suplex? What do you call that move exactly?
Well, I mean, basically, it was a setup for a suplex that only
Right.
goes halfway and then
It just
drop him
falls
back
forward.
Yeah.
So it then turns into just like a splash by Darren Young onto
Yes.
Tensai. But you know, you can understand with someone falling like that. It would be like, oh, it might hurt my stomach, like kind of an RVD 5-star frog splash deal.
Yeah.
But Darren acted like he was in more pain than Tensai.
Have you seen Tensai?
He's a big dude.
He's a big joker. I
He's
mean,
a
he's
big
thick.
man.
If he was to lay on this table right now, you would not be able to see me. That's how big he is.
But it's a lot of muscle too. He's a strong,
he's a strong
dude.
lad. He's a strong lad, but he's a very, very big guy. So when Darren came down, I don't even know if his hands, knees, or feet touched the canvas. It looked like he just landed
Just
on
his stomach.
man. Yeah, just stomach on man, and he could have knocked his wind out easily because Tensai's that big.
Yeah, I mean, and that could have been the case. It's just really interesting to see. Actually, the move is happening on the monitor right behind us right now, because you're going to see, if you're watching this, that all of a sudden he just kind of rolls to the side much longer than he normally should before you go and make a cover.
Yeah,
Because normally it's like, oh, that hurt, cover.
I think that move worked against us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, I was looking at him like, is this a double down?
Yeah. It almost had that feeling.
It
to
almost had the
but-
feeling to it. Eventually, Tensai makes it the hot tag to Brodus, who then starts cleaning house. And
Big George.
oh yeah, you
Got to give him a shout out.
Yeah, give it, because you
Brodus
actually trained with Brodus before he got his big call
long
up.
before
When he was a bouncer out here.
Yeah, when he first started. What you have to understand is that Brodus is a large individual.
He appears that way.
6'7". When I met him, he was around 380, 400 pounds, and we're training down in El Segundo, down near LAX, through a wrestling school that a lot of people came from. You know, John Cena was a member of this school at one point. So I made my way down there to train there as well because I needed a ring. And one day after I had been there for a long time, this gigantic man walked in, and turned out he was just looking to get his feet wet, see what it's like, try out wrestling, just see what the ring feels like. And so in my conversations with him, I found out that he was the bouncer at a place called Saddle Ranch, which is a bar, and it can get pretty rough in there. I don't know why you would get rough in a place that's got men that size working security.
I wouldn't get rough with a guy like Brodus Clay being a bouncer.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't work. But he had what happened was Tommy Dreamer when he was because is he still actively working for the WWE? Is he,
No.
Yeah, I didn't think he was there anymore.
He's not active
But
with them right now.
when he was with the WWE, when he was working as an agent, he came in, and Brodus recognized him as soon as he came in. So he brought him in, got him a table. He took care of Tommy and everybody Tommy was with, sent him a bottle over, took care of pretty much the whole deal, and went over, and while he was having a conversation with him, you know, said he was a big wrestling fan, and Tommy said, well, man, you're big. Why don't you give it a shot? Why don't you try? And that's how he ended up coming down to El Segundo and training with us. And I was in the ring with him not that long, maybe about 2 months, 2-3 months, once a week. We were working out a lot together. And it wasn't just me. It was a lot of other guys. The Ballard brothers were involved.
Ballard, who hosts SmackDown here.
Yeah. They were, matter of fact, they were running the training sessions.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was there. And we had fun with him, and he was off. He was off to Deep South. When Deep South was running, he was signed and he was gone. And through some turn of events, he got released. And when I ran back into him, I ran into him in a Gold's Gym out here, and I was just working out, asked him how it went. He said he didn't really want to go into it that much, but next thing I knew, he lost more weight. He got even more serious, and he went back, and he ended up in Florida Championship Wrestling.
And then obviously we're just guessing at this point, but it's probably one of those things are, hey, we can't work with you yet until you lose some weight.
Yeah, that was one of the
things. And it probably bummed him out, but then he stuck with it, lost a little weight, and then they brought him right back.
And now he's Brodus Clay.
Now he's Brodus Clay.
Brodus Clay.
And Brodus Clay, though, apparently he's very weak against hair picks.
Yeah,
because that's how this match ended.
Every wrestler has a weird inanimate object that they're weak against.
It's Darren Young's hair pick.
His hair pick, yeah.
And because Brodus tries to charge Titus into the turnbuckle, Titus gets out of the way, and as he crashes in, Darren reaches up with the hair pick and hits him on the shoulder. Which it has him in so much pain that he falls over.
Yeah. The shoulder is a sensitive area, man. It's sensitive. Shouldn't be that sensitive. I just talked about a man who was 6'7", 300 pounds of beast and a hair pick. And put him on the ground. But
and then as he goes to the ground, because at this point the ref was distracted by getting Tensai out of the ring.
Yeah.
So that's when Darren Young used the hair pick. Titus goes on top for the cover. Ref turns around, sees it. Darren then also holds Brodus' foot down away from the ref vision.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Primetime players steal a win, trying to build some momentum to their big match on Raw with CM Punk and Curtis Axel.
Yes. I'm really high on the Primetime players.
I love the Primetime players. I want them to be the tag champions. So I mean, I love the Shield with the gold. Yeah. But I've wanted the Primetime players to have it for a long time.
They'll get a shot. They'll get an opportunity, and I think when they do, they will definitely be ready. I know it. They're gonna be ready.
What would you give a star rating for this match? I know you were busy looking at the Funkadactyls for the most part.
I give the Funkadactyls a 4. I give the match a 2.
Only a 4? You're not giving them a 5?
I'm sorry. I give the Funkadactyls a 7, and I give the match a 2.5. All
right. I'm gonna give the match I'm gonna give it a 2.
2?
I don't know.
The Funkadactyls were still out there. I can't.
I wish these guys got more time because these 4 can put on an entertaining tag match. Yeah. And just the pick on the shoulder just seemed like
killed it for you.
An awful way to end the match. Yeah. Like I can understand if you go back to like the thumb in the eye, if like pick into the face.
Right back to it.
Into a roll up.
That makes a difference.
Makes sense.
Did he hit him with the pick side or the fist side?
I would guess the pick side.
Because he's got the black fist on the end of that pick. You know it.
Right.
You know what pick I'm talking about.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
You've seen that pick.
I have friends that own a pick like that.
Oh, see? There you go.
Like a little replica of it.
Yeah.
I do not own it. Because I don't have much of a fro.
If you grow it out, okay. I mean, it'll take some time.
It will take a little while.
But we can get you one. We can get you one.
Well, that wraps up this star-studded main event for this week. Overall, very entertaining show.
Yes.
Hopefully, this momentum continues to build into next week's.
Yeah.
But until next week's, Rome, how can people reach out to you? And you got anything going on this weekend?
This week is Wrestling Cares.
All right.
Down in Gardena. JJ Steele, myself. I'll be wrestling there. Mondo Vega and Ryan Taylor versus myself and Logan X. That's what's going on.
That should be a fun match.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
How can people hit you up on Twitter?
Twitter, once again, Rome the Ruler. Not going to spell it. You guys know Rome the Ruler, like Rome, Italy. Just follow it through. I'm on Instagram at JJSteele81, and I'm on Facebook at Rome Moore.
All right, well, there you go. And you could follow me on Twitter at CRosieVOC. Tomorrow night, I have the IWL, the Insane Wrestling League, presents 2 Insane for Television live on iPay-per-view, and you can watch it for free on your Roku device if you have one. You can go to theiwl.com for more details. You got great talents like Drake Younger, the Young Bucks, Willie Mack, amongst many others going to be there. So make sure you check that out. And if you're in the Hollywood area this Sunday, I'm doing one of my improv comedy shows with former Intercontinental Champion John Morrison called Cut That Promo at IO West. You can reserve your tickets at west.ioimprov.com for that. So, on behalf of Rome Moore, the MPW Heavyweight Champion, I am Christian Rosenberg. Thanks so much, Corey. We'll be back next week, and we will see you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.